welcome back to Rational Numbers Problem Solving Day 2. Yesterday it was review type problems for most of us. Today this is a new concept, so we are going to work through this problem together. This problem is about Matt and his English books, so let me read it to you. Matt has 45 English and Chinese books. 4/5 of the English books and 3/4 of the Chinese books are fiction. The total number of fiction books he has is 35. How many of his fiction books are English? Woo! Well, lots of kids' first reaction is, let's make a bar model. But this problem actually isn't suited to the type of bar modeling you've always done. Because you see, we have these two different kinds of books listed in these two different kinds of sets. We don't really have a way to get their units equal immediately. So we're going to take a more abstract approach because the traditional bar model will fail you at first. So we're going to just work with the fractions and our knowledge about them and see what happens, okay? A good starting point is always, who's this problem about? Or what is this problem about? So who or what? Carol?
Matt and his English books.
Matt and his English books. Anything else? You got any other books?
Fiction books.
Yeah, and besides English,
Chinese
he
books.
likes Chinese too, yeah. Okay, so let's start off with the fact that we've got English books and Chinese books. And these are all Matt's books, so we could have out here Matt's English books and Chinese books. All right, so now let's think about what we know. What do we know about his English books? What do we know about them? Luke?
He has 45 English and Chinese.
We know altogether he's got 45, yep. What is the information we know just about the English collection, though? Luke?
4/5 of them are fiction.
4/5 of them are fiction. So let's really stop and think about that fraction. What does the 4 represent in the 4/5 of them? What does the 4 tell us about his English books? Very important. What's the 4 tell us? Mary? Yeah, it tells us how many of them are actually fictional. What does the 5 in this 4/5 fraction tell us? Will?
I'd say that's the total number of English books he has is divisible by 5.
Yeah, that's the total number of English books. And 4 out of every 5 of those are fiction. All right, what about the Chinese books? What do we know about the Chinese books? Caitlin?
3/4 of them are fiction.
3/4 of them are fiction. All right, now let's be very specific. In that fraction, what's the 3 telling us? What's the 3 telling us? Mikey?
The 3 is telling us how many of the Chinese books are fiction.
Yep. And then what's the 4 telling us? What's the 4 telling us, Daryl?
And the 4 is telling us the total Chinese books.
Total of Chinese books he has. All right. So you guys all agree with that, right? But he doesn't literally have 5 English books and 4 Chinese books, because we know altogether he has, what, Mary? Well, he's got how many total books? What did you say? It's not 35, it's actually, read the start of the problem. Yeah. What does it say right here? Yeah, he's got a total of 45. So we know that literally he doesn't have 5 English books and 4 Chinese books. It's just a lower term fraction of what he has. Our goal is to figure out how many fiction English books he really has, and it's got to be higher than 4. Well, let's make ourselves a new fraction. Let's make our fraction an altogether fraction, talking about his whole collection. If these lowest term fractions, if we use them for now, what would we say, how many total books, English and Chinese, does he have altogether? In altogether total. What would that be, Liam?
45.
Well, yes, that's true. But I mean just in these lowest term fractions.
7,
7 out of 9. Very good, Lynn. The 9 represents English and Chinese total together. We'd have 5 English, 4 Chinese for a total of 9, right? And Liam got the 7 is representing what part of the collection? What is the 7 representing, Anna? The fiction. From the 4 English fiction and the 3 Chinese fiction gives us altogether 7 fiction books. All right, so, but this can't be right, Mrs. Doble, because we know he doesn't have 9 altogether. We know he has, how many altogether? 45, they shout. We know he has 45 altogether. What do we know about the fiction altogether? Will?
He has 35.
We know that he has 35 altogether. Can you see what relationship is going on here from the very most basic lowest terms relationship to the actual amount of each type of book he has? What relationship is there here? Will?
It's like a 1-to-5 ratio.
It's a 1-to-5 ratio or a times 5 relationship, a lot of kids will say. But it's times 5. Do you all agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we can go back up here now, and we can change these fractions into their actual ones, because we know it's a times 5 relationship. So how many fiction English books does he actually have, knowing that this is a times 5 relationship? Caitlin?
36.
Whoa, how'd you get that?
Oh wait,
What were you thinking?
I was thinking like get 45 the bottom denominator, which is
Oh, yeah, but this is just the English up here. Yeah, good, I'm glad you clarified that. It's a times 5 relationship though, so Caitlin, what would you say instead? If we gotta multiply these pieces by 5, we gotta multiply these by 5. So what would this numerator become up here? 20. Fiction out of how many total English here? Daryl?
25.
25. 20 out of 25 must be fiction. Same relationship has to hold true here. So how many Chinese fiction books do we have if we know it's a times 5 relationship, Jack?
15,
15 out of how many total Chinese books, Jack?
20.
20. Now do we have the right amount of each kind of book? Yep. We've got 20 plus 15 fiction books, and we've got 25 plus 20 total books, which is our 35 out of 45 that we were looking for. We got to answer our question. How many of his fiction books are English? How many of his fiction books are English? Picture relationships, how we wrote them all out. Tell your neighbor how many you think are fiction in his English collection. Read your fractions. This is my checking if you're confused. Okay, so the partners are done looking at these together, and actually once you've done all of this work, you've got the work done. You don't have to do any further calculations. You just got to go back and look at your English fractions here, because we're trying to say how many of his fiction books are English. And we knew that the numerator was fiction, and when we multiplied it up to the actual, here it is. 20 of his English books are fiction. Sentence answer is required. Questions at this point? Okay, so we're getting to the point where you're going to do most of the next problem on your own, but we'll set you up for it first. Okay? Let's take a look. Back to the bus. Okay. So there are 42 pupils in a class. 3/4 of the boys and 2/3 of the girls travel to school by bus. The total number of boys and girls who travel to school by bus is 30. We got to find out how many boys altogether there are in the class and how many girls go by bus. All right. So the first thing you want to do is stop yourself and go, let me just figure out what I should start with. What basically is this problem about? Liam?
Boys and girls.
Boys and girls. Did boys listed first? Yeah. Boys and girls. All right. What do we know about the boys, Mikey?
Oh, so 3/4 of it. 3/4 of them.
3/4 of them. What? What does the 3 represent?
How many of the boys? How many of the boys out of the entire class?
Ooh, is it out of
On the
the
bus?
Are on the bus. That's how many boys are on the bus. Those are the bus riding boys. What does the 4 in this fraction represent? What does the 4 represent, Jack?
The total.
Total number of boys. Total boys. That's an arrow. All right. Now let's talk about the girls. What do we know about the girls, Melias?
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, 2/3.
2/3. In that fraction, 2/3, Michael, what is the 2 telling us specifically?
How many girls in that grade are on the bus?
On the bus. Those are the bus girls. Anna, what does the 3 tell us?
The total number of girls.
Total number of girls. It's kind of like Will said, it's the ratio of the bus riders to the total, the bus riders to the total. It's the relationship. Now we can use that to write a relationship about the altogether or the pupils, right? Which implies both the boys and the girls. What's our bus total and what's our total? We look at the boys fraction and the girls fraction. What can we say about altogether pupils? How many units, if you will, ride the bus? Liam?
5.
5. Because 3 up here and 2 right there give us 5. Very good. What can we say about how many units of pupils altogether we have? Luke? 7. 4 boys, 3 girls, 7 altogether. So our kind of new ratio is 5 bus riders for every 7 pupils, right? We know literally, though, that there aren't a total of 7 pupils, right? How many pupils do we have all together, Vaishu?
42.
42. I want you and your partner to finish this problem from here and answer both questions. Call me if you need help. Finish this. Okay, so the kids finished this. They came down here and they said, well, it's not actually 5 out of 7 total. What do we know numbers-wise about how many pupils first just ride the bus? How many ride the bus here? Melitus? 30. 30. Right? Yes, sorry. I lost track of myself. How many total pupils do we have? Vaishu? 42. So everyone looked at this to find a relationship. And what is the relationship between these fractions? What would you say the relationship is, Liam?
And 6.
The times 6
Rohan
relationship.
Ashia, please report to the front office. Rohan to the front office, thank you.
So what do we do then? After we get the times 6, what's next? Where do we go, Mary? Yeah, go up and adjust your boy fractions and your girl fractions to the right amount, okay? So 3/4 for the boys becomes what, Daryl?
18/24.
18/24. And 2/3, it got messy, sorry folks. 2/3 for the girls becomes what? 2/3 becomes what? Vaishu?
12/18.
12/18. So our numbers all total 18 plus 12 equals 30, and 24 plus 18 equals 42. We can answer the question, how many boys are there in the class? Liam?
There are 24 boys in the class.
Total boys, right there. Yes? How many girls travel to school by bus? Caitlin?
12.
12 girls on the bus, right there. Both those sentences, answers should be in sentences. That's the end of the class.